Are you fasting now?
I'm trying. So we've been on a journey with health and nutrition and well-being. My wife is into all of this stuff. It matters. And we did vegan for a while.
Oh,
I know. I know. So, yeah,
Sorry, I feel sick now.
I know. I don't know. I just maybe feel we got suckered in by it. We were a bit misinformed. And yeah, so we did vegan, vegetarian, predominantly vegan.
How long did you do that for?
I want to say 2 to 3 years.
Oh my God.
I don't think I was as strict as her, and it might have only been 18 months, but it felt like 3 years. But so yeah, we were like, you know, I'd go to work with my lunchbox, and in my lunchbox would be carrot sticks and some hummus and maybe some nuts. And what else did I used to have? I can't even remember. But that, and I was like a joke at work because that's what, you know, I'd have like.
Did you feel healthy?
Rabbit food. No, I didn't. I was skinny. We were both skinny. But no, I never felt like amazingly healthy. And I think what we've learned since then is that it doesn't matter what diet you go on, right? You could say, for the next month, I'm only going to eat Snickers bars, and you will lose weight and you will look and feel better by the end of it. And the reason that you lose weight and look and feel better by the end of it is because for the first time, you're properly concentrating on what you're putting in your mouth. And the fact that you have to think, oh, I'm only going to eat a Snickers bar today, means that you're thinking about what you're putting in. And so many people just don't. They just carry on with the way they live in without actually thinking about their nutrition. Anyway, so we did the sort of Snickers bar is probably a bad example, but we did the kind of vegan thing. And yeah, as I say, looking back now, we were skinny, and I don't think we were particularly healthy with it. And then essentially, my wife discovered Carnivore MD.
Yeah.
Paul Saladino.
Yeah.
And I think she fancies him a bit, to be honest. And yeah, so she
He's
kind of
fanciful kind of guy.
Oh, he's sexy.
He's ripped.
He's ripped. He surfs. Lives in Costa Rica. There's a lot to like there.
He's a doctor.
Exactly. So she read his book, and I remember I was at work, and she texted me and was like, "I want a steak for dinner." And I remember looking at the text, being like, "What? Who's stolen my wife's phone?" So we went
get turned on.
I was like, "This is crazy." Because I never thought we'd like eat bacon or anything again. But anyway, so we went from like being predominantly vegan to the day after we were down at a butcher near Ross on Wye who does like grass-fed meat. So having not had proper meat for 18 months, we were then carrying a bag of like organs and all this like liver and steak and all this stuff. So then I remember it distinctly, right? That Friday night we had steak and liver. It's the first time I'd properly eaten liver. And the next day I was going down to the Wave in Bristol, which is an artificial man-made wave. It was the first time I'd ever been there. And I remember I just felt like Superman. It was a sunny day. I was surfing. And I remember thinking, I can do this all day. Like I had that much energy and that much vitality. And I'd never felt like that before. It was very, very interesting. So, and that was kind of a major watershed moment for me. And I remember getting out of the water and thinking, I feel flipping fantastic. There's got to be something in what we ate last night because my energy levels are just wild, like off the charts. Like I think I'd gone a long time without surfing, and I was worried that I was going to get in the water and not be able to do it. And I sort of walked out and was like, I did all right then. I felt like I did okay. Whereas my worry with surfing, because I surfed a lot when I was at university, my worry has always been that, like riding a bike, I'm going to forget how to do it. And I'm going to get in the water and be like, oh, I used to be better at this. And I don't ever want to feel like that because surfing is basically, it's just the best thing you can do in the whole world. It's just fantastic. So I quite enjoy going down there to surf. So anyway, yeah, so we'd had this steak and liver meal, and I just felt like a king, and we've never looked back. So we are now predominantly, as carnivore as possible. We try not to do processed foods because they're really bad for you. We don't do seed oils because they're really bad for you. So everything's cooked in butter.
Good for you.
What else? Yeah, just generally we try to eat fairly clean. We're not perfect by any stretch. I drink far too much. We do go out for dinner, and then you eat rubbish when you're out for dinner and you don't know how it's been cooked or what it's been cooked in or whatever. But that's the real world that we live in. But I think it's important to be aware of health and well-being and nutrition. And you've absolutely got to be aware of what's in your food. Because when you start researching it, it's the same as all these other rabbit holes that you go down. And you pick up that thing that you've always been eating and you actually read the ingredients and you go, right, what are these 3 things here that I can't pronounce? And you go on Wikipedia and you go, none of those are good. Why haven't we been told about this?
Yeah.
And then you go down that whole thing of like the food industry is connected to the pharma industry, and the pharma industry is connected to the medical industry, and the medical industry is connected to the doctors, and nobody wants you to be well,
No.
and nobody wants you to be healthy, and nobody's looking out for you. So you have to look out for yourself in everything that you do.
100%.
But you do, you have to look after yourself and everything. You have to do your own research. And now, more than ever, you have to double research everything that comes out. Because for every doctor that comes out and says X, Y, Z, there's a newspaper article that's coming out and saying X, Y, Z. And I've got to the point now where if the mainstream media is pushing something, anything, doesn't matter what it is, what is probably correct is the opposite. And it's just interesting that we've got there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the food thing as well. I want to do more food stuff on my YouTube channel because our journey with it has been really interesting. When you actually start reading about the foods that we eat, generally, as a species, we've got it so wrong.
Totally wrong.
And so much of the food stuff comes into how you feel and your health and how much you're at the doctors.
We are not eating a species-specific diet. We're eating garbage.
Yeah.
You know, we are...
Not even food.
We're not eating food, you know.
Like you and I today, we're not eating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, you
Do
know...
that next time.
So my wife and I fast every day and have been doing for years now.
Between what... So for people who are listening, basically, intermittent fasting is usually suggested to do it for how many hours?
So it's a minimum of 16 hours. So here's an app. It's called Zero.
Right.
And if you look here, it says extra time, 3 hours and 24 minutes. So I've been fasting 23 hours and 24 minutes.
Wow.
Yep. But on average, it's 20 hours. So 20 hours.
So you have a small 4-hour window when you'll eat.
Yeah. And we kind of move it around a little bit. So sometimes we might eat at 18 hours,
Yeah.
which is why we eat earlier. And then we'll make up for it. So I've eaten quite a lot of 18, 19 hours recently.
Yeah.
And now I'm going long to make up for that. And so it will average out again to about 20 hours. And then sometimes my eating window might be 5, 6 hours. Sometimes it might be 2 hours. But again, on average, the eating window is 4 hours. My fast is 20 hours on average. The minimum fast is 16 hours. You cannot go underneath the 16 hours, right?
Really? Wow. Okay.
Because the metabolism is different. So it's like putting petrol and diesel.
Yeah.
You have to stick to the same.
Do you think, is that different for different people, or is it 16 hours for
16
you?
hours, just 16
16
hours.
hours for a human.
Yeah, 16 hours is minimum fasting, you know, to be intermittent fasting.
3 questions. I'll ask them all and then you can answer them all. 1, what do you drink or not drink when you are fasting? 2, what do you eat or not eat when you are eating? And 3, how do you feel when you're fasting relative to before you were fasting, or have you always fasted?
Yeah, no, I haven't always fasted. So basically, number one, so when I'm in fasting window in the morning, black coffee.
Yeah, so black coffee, but no
But
milk.
it's very weak now. Like I used to have 3 beans on my counter and I had 3 shots of that. So that's like 9 beans.
Yeah.
Now I have like 2 1-bean shots. So I've gone from 9 to 2. So it's very weak coffee.
Yeah.
I did try and stop, but I found it difficult. And plus I like the ritual with my wife. It's something we do together. We get beans and then grind it down. It's proper coffee.
Yeah,
It was nice.
It was a good coffee.
was a
I
good
enjoyed
coffee,
it.
yeah.
So we've gone, we're always tea in the mornings, but most recently we've been on hot lemon instead.
Mm.
And what's really interesting is I thought, because usually we'll have 3 or 4, maybe 5 cups of tea before we've got the kids out the door to school.
Oh, wow.
And we just love tea. And I thought that by moving from tea to hot lemon, there'd be like something. I'd notice something. I would need that tea in the morning. But I think it's more the ritual of a hot drink that we need, not the caffeine or anything in the tea. So we haven't actually noticed any difference from moving from tea to hot lemon.
So the other thing is no milk. There's no milk in that, outside that eating window. So it's black. And then afterwards, so in the evening, I don't normally want a drink, but sometimes, like maybe once a week, I'll have like a green tea or a rooibos tea or something. My wife tends to have a little bit more than I do, but that's what we can have. Or sparkling water.
Yeah, we love a bit of sparkling water.
Yeah.
I could never get my head around the fact that green tea just tastes like ass.
Right. Okay.
I tried it. I just find it foul.
Yeah, and then and what do we eat? So when we break a fast, it's typically heavy in meat.
Yeah.
Like, so yesterday was beef stew. Minimal veggies in it, maybe a few carrots or onions, but it's just a beef stew.
Yeah.
And my wife makes dumplings like in beef dripping and stuff
nice.
like that. So it's all stodgy and fatty and
yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Or other forms of meat. So I like to get mince.
Yep.
So I've made keema, so it's a spicy mince.
Yeah.
And that that's very cheap, cheap meat, and it's good, and it's from the farmer, so it's grass fed mince meat. Yeah. And it's a really cheap packet. Like it's £5 for 500 grams.
Yeah.
But like, if you get a steak, for that amount, it's like £40, £45. So
yeah,
just get this mince. It's much cheaper and easier.
Yeah.
And then the farmer also does amazing lamb sausages, venison sausages, makes lamb koftas, burger patties, and they're all cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to like steak. I haven't had a steak for a very long time now.
Yeah.
If I could have one, it would be a ribeye, medium rare. Love it. And then we have some veggies, we like, but it won't be very much. We'll have like chips, but it'll be cooked in beef fat.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's amazing. We don't have cereals. There's no cereals.
No.
I make my own homemade bread.
Yeah.
I have bread probably once, twice a week, but it's not very much. Like maybe one slice, but it's good bread.
Yeah.
Like really good.
Yeah, we have a good farm shop over the road from us, and we get through a bit of sourdough. Do like a bit of sourdough, and we eat a ton of eggs. So you've got chickens. Yeah, we get through eggs like anything.
Mate, 100%. So we get every meal. There's a fried egg or scrambled egg or an omelette. The kids have it every single day.
Yeah,
eggs are the best protein balls you can get.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, how did I feel? Like when I wasn't like this, I was, a few years back, quite overweight. I'm like 71, 72 kilograms now.
Yeah,
a lot of lean muscle. I just did a bit of exercise this morning, and like, I've got really good definition in my abs. Like, I was like, wow, like for 48-year-old, pretty good.
Yeah.
And my wife now goes, there's a little whistle, goes, ooh, check you out. It's nice. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah,
I don't have a dad bod. I look good.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like that the whole time. Most of my life I've just been quite doughy and dumpy, and at my peak I was 86 kilograms.
Yeah.
Fat bastard. 34-inch waist. Now it's 28-inch waist.
Yeah.
Got a tiny waist.
Yeah.
So, but it was also not just physical, it was mental. Like my mood would fluctuate. I would have these sugar cravings. I'd feel down. I'd feel a bit depressed. Then I'd be really excited and energetic. And then I would fluctuate in the day, never mind on a weekly basis. Whereas now, because I'm running pretty much on ketones because of my fasting, because of my food and the diet and the low carbs, it's just clean. It's just straight. Like I don't go up and down as much. I'm, even though, like I said, now that I'm a content creator and this and that and work, I'm a little bit more steady. I don't go all these crazy. And that's since I've been doing this in the last 5 years. Before that, it was really up and down all over the place. So fasting I don't know, it's just very empowering.
You do feel, I always feel when I'm eating less, there's more energy there.
Yeah.
And particularly when I worked in an office as well, if I make myself a big lunch, a load of sandwiches or whatever leftovers it was from the night before, you eat that at your desk at 1 o'clock, you're done for the rest of the afternoon.
Done.
If you fast all the way through and just do, like you say, black coffee through the day, 1 or 2, more energy by the end of the day, and you get home and you're not starving.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a lot of people just eat too much.
I think people eat too much and they eat too much crap. Eat the wrong food.
Yeah.
Eat doughy carbs. I mean, I used to crave carbs. And it's because of sugar addiction. I used to I want pizza. I want this pasta. I don't crave that stuff anymore. Now I'm like, I crave meat.
Yeah.
I want meat.
Just before Christmas, I'd been listening to quite a lot of Joe Rogan, and he's always talking about deer hunting. So I was like, I wonder if you could buy a good batch of venison. And there's a company in the country.
I'd love to go deer hunting.
Yeah, I would as well.
Let's go.
Can you do it in this country?
I don't know. Let's go somewhere in the States. Let's go to North Dakota, South
I'd be so up for that with a crossbow.
Or even just bow hunting. I've learned bow hunting. Rifle. I would with a rifle. The whole shabam.
Yeah.
Let's take axes and throw axes at them. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Just wrestle them. So long as we could prepare the food afterwards. But yeah, I bought there's a company that does it. You could buy a deer box. I think that's the name of the company. not a sponsor of the podcast, but they should be. So yeah, I bought a great big box of deer just to see what it was like, and it's been fantastic. And I love my slow cooker. So crank the slow cooker on and get a real nice, all day stew going.
100%.
Love stuff like that.
But that's so easy as well.
Yeah, really easy.
But I'm not going to lie. I have not ever gutted an animal, skinned it, prepared it. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Like, these are basic things that, humans have been doing for like hundreds of thousands of years. And it's now, in a space of literally a few short years, we've totally forgotten how to manage. Like, can you imagine getting the average person off the street and go, right, go get some food?
Yeah.
They would just look at you and go, like, where? Like a live creature, an animal, a deer, go hunt it, go catch it, kill it, slaughter it, skin it, prepare the meat, preserve it, cook it. How do you think they would be fracked?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would be scared to do that. Absolutely.
But I think that's important.
I think it is. We're so disconnected from our food. It's such a key thing. It's everything that you are. You are what you eat, and you've got to know where it's coming from.
100%. I just feel like, oh man, I just feel like that disconnection's not good.
One of my funniest experiences on my YouTube journey was doing a collaboration with a chap, and we were both driving each other's cars. And I hit the throttle in his car, and we immediately killed a pheasant. And then it bounced over the back of the window. And I thought, well, I got to eat that. So I did. So that's what I did.
Love a bit of roadkill.
So we had roadkill stew for dinner, and the wife got back from work, and I just said, don't worry, I've sorted dinner. And I had a really nice pheasant stew. But it was funny because had that not happened, I probably wouldn't have, and I'm there with the pheasant in the kitchen watching YouTube videos, being like, how do you prepare a pheasant? Because I had no idea.
Are you not disappointed how little meat there is once you've plucked away all the
there wasn't a lot. Once the feathers are gone, there wasn't a huge amount there.
There's not, is there?
No.
It's quite shocking.
Yeah, but it was super tasty. And there's that amazing satisfaction as well with, I did this. Yeah, I killed it with a car. But,
of course. Geoff buys a car, kills a pheasant with a car, of course.
And then, so it was just quite amusing that evening presenting roadkill to my wife for dinner. But
do you think there's place in the States where you can just drive around in a big car with a, like a big 4x4
yeah, just
truck,
ram them.
just ram deer?
Yeah. I don't think you'd ever get close to them. That's the thing. They're so skittish, aren't they? Yeah. You'd never you'd have to drive them down the highways and wait for one to jump out.
But there's people who go and collect roadkill and eat roadkill. Well,
when I put that YouTube video up, a lot of people in the comments were giving me all of their anecdotes on all the roadkill that they've eaten, and it was quite interesting reading it back. But it's a perfectly viable source of meat, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, but you just don't know how long it's been there.
I think it's important that you run it down yourself.
You want to run it down yourself.
Well, the thing is, there's some interesting legalities in that as well. So the gentleman who I was with while we were filming had said that it's not legal to run the animal down yourself, but if you're in the car behind, you can then collect the roadkill that the car in front has killed.
Wow, they knew this.
Yeah, and I found that odd. So what he advised was, we can't pick up the pheasant now. We need to go and get another car. So I was driving when we killed the pheasant.
Was anyone else watching? I don't think anyone gives a shit.
I know, but from a YouTube point of view, and he's very prim and proper. I'm Mr. Chaotic, whereas he's very proper. So we did it the proper way. So I ran it down accidentally whilst driving his car. So then we stashed the pheasant and went back and got my car, which he then drove, and I retrieved the pheasant. But then everybody in the comments was like, "You've got the law wrong. That's wrong. You can't do that." I was like,
you guys had too much time on your hands.
It's a problem with being a YouTuber. You do have, yes, I'm very, very busy, but I can do what I want when I want, and that's fantastic.